In the Western world, there is a certain separation between mind and body, since there is the widespread tendency to agree with the idea of a dualism of the human being introduced by Plato thousands of years ago. The human being is divided in two parts. The intellectual one is ruled by reason, while the perceptive one is a slave to instinct and desires. As it is a more objective and reliable mean to reach true knowledge of the reality around us, reason had a positive connotation. The body, instead, had a negative connotation because it was thought to be totally in the grip of feelings and sensations that are changeable, therefore can lead only to a lacking and fake knowledge. This led to the relegation of the body to an inferior position. An example may help to understand the point. It has always been fundamental to have a good education and make it accessible to everyone, but has never been considered important to take care of our body, know it and accept it. Lots of people did question themselves about this topic. On one hand, philosophers and thinkers, and on the other hand, choreographers, dancers, artists, and athletes tried to reverse the trend, making different attempts in order to bring our body at the center of our existence. In spite of these attempts, still no authors or schools of thought managed to make a mark stronger than what Plato did. Therefore, at an ideological level, there is not yet a new widespread trend. However, in the Western world, lots of people did not accept the Western way of thinking, and therefore strongly felt the need to find a link, a connection. In this way, they started a gradual opening to the Eastern world. In the Eastern world, the separation between body and mind has never existed. Instead, the body has always been considered the place where all the energies flow. The body is a tool that enables us to be in tune with the energy that flows in each existing thing. For this reason, we have to take care of it, pondering the nature and its continuous transformations. In opposition to what happened in the Western world, the body is considered not only as flesh, but also as the spirit of a universe that is not transcendent, but made up of slow and silent transformations. This particular way of thinking derives from the various Eastern religions and philosophies. We must underline that philosophy is a typical Greek product that became then exclusive heritage of the Western world. Therefore, even if many doctrines with a high degree of spirituality has been developed in the Eastern countries, the final purpose of thinking is deeply different. Western philosophers have always thought about the research of the ultimate truth in something beyond the human condition, in something transcendent. This is a level of thinking that many Eastern thinkers explicitly refused to approach. Chinese thought did not even conceive the dichotomy between soul and body, typical of the Western tradition, nor the consequent distinction between sensory perception and rationality. The Chinese word sin, in fact, has two meanings, mind and also heart. So, it is like thoughts, emotions, and sensory reactions share the same space inside each of us. In China, the rational function is not considered as the highest one, nor passions and instincts are the lowest. According to Chinese thought, there are two opposite but complementary forces that govern the entire universe, making it dynamic and constantly changing. So, in China, there is not an absolute conception of the opposites. Instead, they are considered as complementary parts, as interaction and alternation. From such different opinions concerning the human being, developed societies based on different paradigms. In a society based on a view of the human being as a union of mind, soul, and body, as a vehicle of energies, as a complete microcosm, each aspect of life will be aimed at involving the individual totally and maintaining the energy balance. In a society where body and mind are two different entities, instead, there will be the fragmentation of the individual in three psychomatic blocks: closure of heart, hyperactivity of mind, and control of body. These different types of society lead to different ways of taking care of people, seeing disease, health, and healing, and intervening on the sick person. The birth of the traditional Chinese medicine dates back to 3,000–4,000 years ago, and surprisingly, the Western medicine has its roots in the ancient Indian and Chinese traditions. From the 5th century before Christ to the 17th century after Domini, the traditional Chinese medicine and the Western medicine shared the same axioms, beliefs, and characteristics. They both recognized the existence of a correspondence between man and nature, related as microcosm and macrocosm. Therefore, they were both holistic, qualitative, organicistic, and energy medicine. It was believed that nature was the one in charge of healing, since it is a force that tends to restore balance. Therefore, the therapeutic intervention consisted only in encouraging this energy balance restoration. Then, during the 17th century, the Western medicine began to abandon this holistic view. With the Copernicus astronomic revolution and the Vesalius anatomic one, with the spreading of Descartes' rationalism and the success of the scientific method, medicine turned into pure observation of phenomena. Since the scientific development was considered of fundamental importance, scientists and philosophers started to analyze each phenomenon applying mathematical laws. The same happened with the body. From that period on, it has been considered as a machinery ruled by mechanical laws. The traditional Chinese medicine remained faithful to the ancient tradition. Therefore, it is still today a qualitative medicine aimed at reaching the global well-being of the patient. Western medicine instead abandoned the holistic paradigm and became a quantitative medicine, giving more importance to physical laws than to the patient feelings. In spite of all these differences, in the last decades there has been a reverse in the trend. Alternative medicines are achieving a resounding success in the Western countries. Today, the many European citizens are willing to turn to holistic and alternative medicines. Today is widely acknowledged the interconnection between body and mind. In the physiological field, is already demonstrated that the nervous, endocrine, and immune systems communicate with each other. These considerations led to the demonstration of the theory according to which thinking positively influences treatments and accelerates healing. Moreover, it has been verified that optimism helps maintaining good health because it increases immune defenses. After these considerations, it is clear that our medicine should pay more attention to these new needs. It should review its axioms based on a scientific culture that do not take into account the union between body and mind, and usually treats the afflicted organ or the pathology instead of the patient. To that end, an interaction with the alternative medicines would be the best way, not choosing them instead of the Western medicine, but using both in synergy.